Welcome to Entreprogrammers Podcast, the podcast for developreneurs, the podcast where you get to be a fly on the wall listening to real conversations of three developers trying to tackle the challenges they face as entrepreneurs.
All right, you're live. Chuck, are you there?
I'm here. Just a sec. I'm switching it back to my AirPods.
Oh boy.
Good thing. Oh, here we go.
We got 4 Chucks now.
There we go.
All right, there we are. So, Chuck, where are you again? Did you say Dev Summit?
So, Framework Summit. It's front-end frameworks, Park City, Utah. So I just drove up here. It was a half hour from my house.
Okay.
And
not too bad.
Yeah. So today is the workshop day. So they have a Vue workshop, a React workshop, and an Angular workshop. And then they have the Creator Summit is what they're calling it. And so they have members of the core teams for React, Angular, Vue, Elm, Ember, and Svelte. And so
Nice.
I was like, if you're going to have all those core teams, I'm going to go and make friends.
I have not heard of Svelte before. Is this relatively new, or is this the one that I just missed?
It's relatively new. I don't know a whole lot about it.
So it's the latest. All those other frameworks are too bloated. So we're going to come up with our own framework.
I guess. I don't know.
Which will be bloated in a year and a half.
Well, Elm's not a framework. It's a language.
Okay.
It's just fully functional. So it has framework-like qualities because you have to build it its own way.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and in fact, I walked in the room and I knew almost everybody in there anyway. So
nice. So are you doing like podcast interviews and stuff? Is that the main
not
objective?
here. Yeah, I'm just trying to connect with people, line stuff up. So
Okay.
So yeah, we're working on that. It was funny because I talked to a few of them and they're like, "Yeah, we should come back on JavaScript Jabber," and I'm like, "Yes, you should." So anyway,
Nice.
good stuff there.
Cool. Yeah, you could probably fill your year worth of guests on the podcast.
Yeah, well, the other thing is like I was talking to Andrew from the React team, and we've had him on the show before, but I hadn't talked to him much. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll come back. We'll come on." And I was like, "Well, do you think we can get some of the React team members to come on the React podcast?" "Which one's that?" "That's React Roundup." "Oh yeah, we could probably do that." After React Conf is what he's telling me. But it also turns out that a handful of the React Conf organizers are here. And so I'm also talking to them and saying, "Hey, could we set up a podcast booth there and, fly in some podcasters and, help get the word out about React stuff?" Because React Conf is basically sponsored by Facebook. So.
Oh, okay.
So if we can get them to pay for, 4 or 5 airfares.
They have a little bit of money, I've heard. So
That's the rumor. So yeah, so that all went down. I was in Orlando last week. And that turned out to be a pretty positive thing. We did some interviews there and I got a bunch of work done in my hotel room and stuff. Anyway, it was pretty good. So at this point, I think most of the day I'm just going to be sitting out here because I didn't pay for any of the frameworks or any of the workshops. I might go sit in the Vue workshop after we're done talking and, I might cough up $100 to sit in there. But yeah, anyway, I've decided that I'm just going to buckle down and get this book and course done. That way I can buckle down and get the software written because switching back and forth is just costing me too much.
yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm just going to sit out here and write my book, and I'm hoping that I can just, if that's all I'm doing, I can crank here within a couple weeks and at least have, I want to go through the rough draft and do a second draft and have that done here in a few weeks. And then I can hand it off to an editor and work up the videos and all that stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about with the switching back and forth. That was actually what was killing me with when I still had a job too, when this whole thing started, because you only get like a couple hours at most a day.
Yep.
How did your help feed the hungry email sequence? Those emails were great.
I sold 16
about
copies of the book.
What was that?
I sold 16 copies of the book. So.
And course?
None. No, nobody bought the course.
Why did you sell the book? Because you had to sell one or the other. If you offer the lower price point product, you're going to screw up the sale.
I guess that's true.
I should have just made one offer. I think you should have just made one offer.
Well, let me go back in time and fix that.
let's do it right now.
You definitely have a point.
Multiple offers will confuse the audience, and then they're going to just default to the easy way out. At that point, what you could have done is said, hey, the book will be a part of the course that you buy, and you're getting a deal. So you would have sold a higher ticket price point product. As soon as you give them the option of the lower price point product, you're fucked.
I disagree.
I agree.
Well,
I've tested this before.
Okay, let's talk about it.
The only thing I'm going to interject here is that at the price point that the course was listed at, if I had not sold any books and sold one copy of the course, I would have made more money.
Exactly.
Right.
As soon as you introduce the lower price point products, you don't have the opportunity to sell. So, like, the difference is so stark. It's almost like
What was the price point on the course?
300.
300, and the book was what? 19 or 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to have some middle ground offering.
No,
or have a much higher priced offering that.
No, you got to sell the damn thing without selling the other thing at the same time. You don't need more offers. You need to sell the offer that you have right now, but don't confuse the offer with other offers.
That does make sense. The other thing is then I can drive people to, if they just want the book, then I can, when I launch the book on Amazon and stuff, I can sell it over there and use that as a selling tool to get people to buy the course. So I'm bringing in people I don't reach otherwise off of Amazon, basically is what I'm saying.
Right. So the whole idea of being able to manipulate how much money people are going to be willing to spend based off of what options you give them does not hold water in my experience. Basically, there are the people that are going to spend, the people that are willing to spend $300 will still spend that, even if there's a $16 or a $20 version available in most cases. I've not seen it work where you can force someone to spend $300 when they only wanted to spend $20. That just does not happen.
No, I disagree, because in this case, the offers are so similar in the sense you're offering the same end result, and now you're offering two different price points for the same end result, and you just killed your own goose by doing that. If you had if you had different offers and different price points, then it made sense. In this case, it's almost like you can either learn from the book or you can learn from the course. Well, I just learn from the book, take the low risk route right now, and when I like the book, maybe I'll go to the high price point product.
No, that makes sense.
We can spend the whole episode talking about this.
Yeah. Well, there's really only one way to find out, right?
Yeah, sell the damn thing without selling the book.
What
was the email like? What were the 4 emails like? Like, did you make offers for both of them in each of the email?
No,
it was on the sales page. It was just the pricing tier.
Ooh.
On the sales page, on the sales page, it only listed the course.
Hold on. So what were your emails?
So the emails went out and they sent them to the landing page for the course. But if you click on the course, it takes you to the shopping cart to buy it. And I think what happened is people saw, because it shows related products, it showed the book. And
okay, well there we go. This basically I mean, they had the
Can I see
opportunity. They only
can I see
saw.
the link?
They only saw. They only saw the one option initially.
Can I
So
see the
that's what
link?
they.
Yeah.
That's what they decided.
Can I see the link for the landing page?
Yeah, it's getacoderjob.com.
Getacoderjob.com.
Yeah.
And this is where you drove traffic in each of the emails.
Yep.
I'm looking too here. I'm curious.
I haven't looked at that sales page for a while. I just already had it, so I pointed people at it. Yeah. I should probably revisit it, especially since I've written like half the book. Make sure that it lines up with.
So basically, what happened was
Oh boy.
people clicked through, looked at the price, and then just looked. Let's see here. Probably clicked the navigation and courses. No, I guess it's just the only place at the bottom of the page there.
Here's
Where
what
the-
Yeah, it should be.
here's what's happening. They click on the sales. They click on buy now. By the way, what were your numbers? Do you know? Like, what were how many clicks and how many?
I don't
click.
know. I need to look that up, but I'm on my
How many?
phone.
How many people clicked on the email? Do you know that? No.
I have no idea.
Okay. So, if you look at the description, it says pre-order. The product is actively being developed. There itself, it's kind of killed the mojo. And then you keep going down, and it says related products. Get a coder job ebook. And I'm like, hey, this is ready. Why? I mean, shit, this product is being developed. So, no. Yeah, that's
Do you
a
think
tough one,
that's the
man.
problem?
Yeah, for sure. Because you write down on the
Yeah,
cart
but
page.
I don't have videos
And
to
you
give
have
them right away.
and you have three-step. No, it's two-step, I guess. Hold on, it just autofills this shit. What'd you say?
I'd like to get it so that if they click the link, it just takes them straight to the order page, right?
Yeah,
It just adds it to the
sales
cart,
page
takes
and
them to the
Oh
cart.
yeah, you can
sales
do
page and
that.
order page. That's probably you want them to go to sales page, and sales page to order page is probably it. That's it, no more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, skip the cart, which you
Yeah.
can do, Chuck. That's just a single link. It's really easy to do. You just have to format the link with the product ID.
Okay.
How much
I'll
were you
figure out how to
selling
do
it?
that.
How much were you selling it for? Because it's $500.
300.
Yeah, you didn't.
Now, Chuck, I think that you did fine. I don't think you would have made. So 16 sales is not enough that there would have been somebody in there willing to pay 500. I don't think. I think if you'd had 300, yeah, either way, I think you would have needed like 100 sales to have somebody, one or two people that were willing to pay that much. So
And I think
you're
Manny's point too. If I take out the language about this is actively being developed or whatever, and just put a delivery date on there. So if I just said, hey, you'll get it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that would probably be better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not convinced your cart is not a high performing cart right now, man. It's bad because it's you're writing so much on there. Once someone is committed to buying, there should be just an option to put your name, email address, and credit card number. There's just too much information here. That's killing the sale. Sales page to cart should be sales page does the convincing. The card should be just there for taking the credit card information.
Well, the other thing too is that there's no price on or I didn't see a price. Was there a price on the sales page?
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay. So all the click throughs to the shopping cart were just to see what the price was. So your click throughs on the cart page are going to be high. On the sales page are going to be way high. So if you did 8,000 subscribers to, you probably got, quick math, you probably got like around 300 to 500 clicks, maybe.
Yeah, if it's like four emails.
But a lot of those, and then the click-through rate on the sales page was probably 10 to 20% because people were curious on the price.
Right.
So you might have only ended up with like 140, maybe 150 click-throughs, in which case you converted on the book at like 10%, which is not bad. So
yeah,
I think you really need to, on the price. I think if you had shown the price, you would have gotten a different category of buyers to click on it.
right.
And that would have allowed them to actually make a buy.
Yeah.
But your buying process, the cart is just not optimized right now. You need to optimize the cart. The shopping cart button, the shopping cart page has to be really simple. It cannot have all of that. None of that stuff can actually impede with the. It's almost like they made a. Yeah, in this case, unfortunately, since they didn't have the price, it's hard to tell. They probably didn't even have their mind made up. But if you had the price there and they had clicked on it, at that time they were semi-serious about it, or almost like 20 to 30%. I would say 40%, 50% serious about it. At that point, you cannot lose them by having everything else there.
Yeah.
One thing.
No,
There's
fair.
no exiting at that point. It's like a squeeze page again.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
No,
There's no other products, no other, like, look at Amazon's cart, right? As soon as you do the cart,
they take out the navigation. It's like stripped out.
You literally have to the only thing you can do is click back. I mean, you can look at my products, and I'm sure look at Josh's and all of those. Everyone is the same way. Like, once you enter the cart, there's no going back, or there's no options.
Gotcha. So my shopping cart page should lose the navigation and everything.
Yeah, it has to lose the navigation for sure.
Check.
What are you using for this?
WooCommerce.
I'm sure there is a way to do it.
Yeah, check out. Here, let me send you.
Well, I can even just modify the theme.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
Because they have a cart page in there already, so I can just.
Right. Yeah, you can modify that.
And I think they have actually the template that I'm using. I think has a template without nav on it, so I can just switch the template.
Okay. Let me show you the. I'll show you the add to cart.
Yeah, let me show you mine as well, so you get some ideas.
Okay. Here's the add to cart format. So you just have to put in your. It's like checkout, and then I just put it in chat.
I can't see it.
No, I put it in the chat. It's just the URL format in WooCommerce is really easy. All you have to do is put a query parameter of add to cart equals and then product number, and you'll skip the whole. You'll skip the add to cart page and go right to the checkout.
I don't know if I can load the chat. I'm on my phone and it's.
All right. I'll stick it in the Google chat so you can see it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really easy to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, that's why I'm going.
You are forcing them for the $99 per year community? Or was there an option?
Nope.
Ooh, I want to hear about that. Let's see. Let's hear about that as soon as we're done here. I'm concerned.
So.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
You like that? I don't like that.
Yeah, you just link directly to this so that they can just.
No, he's ordering. Yeah, Manny's commenting on something else. Not the sales page format.
Something very interesting. I say. Even here, I mean, there is still like stuff. Like there's still like 3 links here on the top.
Yeah.
Which could be challenging. Like, what you want ideally is just a checkout page. Like, this is good for e-commerce kind of stuff, but with our kind of stuff, it's like it's very
Well, I mean, I've watched like hundreds of screen recording sessions.
Okay.
And the only thing that people really click around for is they look for a way to log in.
What's the cart abandonment rate for you right now?
I don't know. I'd need to look it up.
Okay, so I'm somewhere in the 70% range, and that's usual. That's the standard.
Yeah.
Is there a list of these numbers that I should be paying attention to somewhere that I can start monitoring?
Not written down anywhere that I've ever seen.
I think we all just we can.
You sort of internalize them eventually.
Yeah, over time, you kind of as you do it, but the big numbers. I mean, cart abandonment probably is not such a big issue. Well, it is in this case because your cart kind of messed it up for you. Well, cart abandonment is a big issue because in the early days, I also used to screw it up. So I would agree with that. And it's like a really high leverage point in the sense a few tweaks can change your conversion because abandonment, it's like let's say your conversion is 30% and now you get to 40%. Suddenly you're getting not 10% more, but you're getting 30% more sales.
30% more, yeah.
And that changes everything. Sense. Yeah. So cart abandonment can be huge, or
it can be. Honestly, though, I've tested. I mean, I've used so many different carts at this point, and I've never really seen. Oh, I'm getting bad.
I'm going a lot.
Yeah. That Chuck?
Nope. Not me.
I've never really seen. I've switched shopping carts multiple times and not really ever seen any major difference in the performance between. I've done Zaxa. We were with DPD, did Zaxa, and then we did Thrive Cart, and then now I'm on WooCommerce, and I've never really seen a major difference, even though they look completely differently. They all look completely different, and I've never really seen a major. So I think like shopping cart abandonment is a lot harder. I think you need to have like a really high volume of traffic to be able to detect the differences.
Yeah, that's true.
So Amazon can detect it, but it's really hard for us.
Yeah, but in that case, we should just design it like Amazon. Why mess around?
No, I mean, keeping it as simple as possible makes sense.
No buttons is probably the thing that I learned with the cart. Like the more buttons there are, the easier it is to distraction and just fucking it up.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and the other way you could have done it, it's too late now, but you can try something again, is having the book as the tripwire and then the course as the upsell with with everything, the discount and everything, like one-time only discount on the course. That might actually do better, and you can consistently sell the book, and you would probably, at this price point, $816 to maybe $300, you give them a 50% off discount, one-time offer.
Yeah.
Maybe you get 10 to 20% uptake on it of the people who buy the book. What do you think, Josh?
At that price gap, I would say more like maybe 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay. My guess. I mean, if I've seen it seems like $5 to $50 is usually that you can get in that 10 to 20% range. Yeah. And then above that, it starts to drop off. Like usually what I was seeing was 10% of people were taking the $50 and then 10% of those would take the $199 offer.
Yeah.
So it ended up, it was like 1% of the buyers would buy.
No, but then you already put a impediment in between. So that kind of changes the game a little bit.
Yeah, it does. But I still don't think that most people are going to. Yeah, you're right. But I don't know that you're going to see a huge increase in the number of people who will go from $5 to $250 or to $200.
No, in this case, it's what, $16, $20, $20 to
$20 to $30 or $300. I mean.
Yeah, so 10 to 15x. Yeah, it's a little different.
But I mean, my plan ultimately, I think, is just to sell the book on Amazon and then drive those people to the course. So once I have the book done, I just wanted to get 20 or 30 people reading the book as I'm writing it so I can get feedback on it. And then I can, I can turn around and I'll stop selling it on DevChat and they'll have to buy it on Amazon anyway. That way I can get the reviews and things like that and, move up in the rankings and see if I can get new people in who are looking for a programming job.
Okay, I'm going to go to the restroom. I'll be back. Don't tell your results, Josh.
Okay.
I'm going to put some bets. I'm going to put some numbers on it, and we'll see.
Okay, yeah, you do that.
Yeah, one other thing, just to, some of the stuff that you guys brought up that I didn't do right. I mean, that's part of why I'm doing this too, is so that I can get my marketing stuff figured out. Because I don't 100% know what I'm doing, and yeah, so I appreciate the feedback more than I'm ashamed of anything I did.
Well, okay, so yeah, and keep in mind that none of this stuff is really usually in my experiments with all this stuff, usually the mistakes you make don't cost you huge amounts of money. So like I have done pricing experiments where I radically change the price, double, triple, quadruple the price, and the revenue ends up being within a narrow range of 10 to 20% of where you started. So I think like if you may have sold one course if you'd done it the other way. There's a pretty good chance you would have sold 0 though. So it wasn't really. So you ended up with 16 times 20. So yeah, you probably you're fine. I mean, like that was not.
No, it was 15.
Big,
so I made
15. Okay.
Change.
15 times
$15.
Oh, $15 times 16 sales.
Sales, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but again, like so it's $240, right? So if you'd sold one, that's what. So 240 is. I'm gonna guess it's within 20%. Oh, look at that, 80%. There we go. Yeah. So if you'd sold one, you would not have sold more than one. I guarantee it. At that $300 price, you may have sold one. No, it would have been
a fluke.
Yeah, you may have sold one. You may have sold 0. So, so it's not like people really agonize about pricing, and a lot of this funnel stuff it's incremental. It's not going to necessarily change.
Well, most of the successful people that I know, they figure out the pricing through trial and error.
Exactly.
So,
all right. So shall we talk about my launch? All right. So
let me put my guess out there.
Let's play guess the launch. All right. So I'll give you a couple numbers to start. All right. So total number of subscribers starting out 82,972. Okay. So we'll call it 8,300 or 83,000 rather. Total unique opens. So
don't worry about that. Don't tell us.
Okay.
How many emails though?
5.
Yep. Over how many days?
2 days.
And you closed it? Cart?
Yes.
And there was only one shopping cart page? That's the one, the cart? Or there were multiple tests of the cart?
No, there was one.
Without the membership?
No, that was the only option. And yeah, okay. So one sales page, one offer. What else do you want to know?
That's good. I think I'm good. So $200 price point. That's the only price point we had, right?
Only price point. Yep. $199. And it's a course, live course. So it's only available now. It's not a digital course.
Oh, it's a live course.
Yes.
How long is the course?
3 weeks.
Ooh, that changes the game quite a bit.
$199.
When does it start?
Tomorrow.
And you said that in the email? Starting tomorrow?
Every time.
Damn. Okay, so let's just go with the numbers here. 80,000 emails. I'm assuming 15% open for 5 emails. Maybe 20%, 15 to 20% opens for 5 emails. Unique opens could be. So Chuck, as you're listening, maybe you could see we're doing the numbers like right here. I'm doing the numbers as you think about it, right? 15 to 20% open per email is around what? 15,000 people might be opening that email, 10 to 15,000 people opening that email, right? And over 5 emails, so the unique number might be double. So maybe 25,000 unique opens.
Bingo. 25,454.
Dude, 25,000. I'm good.
On the nose.
Okay, so 25,000 opens.
Unique clicks is next.
Yeah, shit. Unique clicks is tough, but clicks overall, I'm willing to bet 3%. Oh, 3% click. So 3% click is a decent rate, Chuck, I would say, in our market now.
Per email or?
Per email. Well, I'm still calculating. So 2,400, 5. Well, I would say around 800 clicks.
800 or 8,000?
Let me get that math again. So 3% click, 15%. 3% click-through rate per email would be 2,400 per email, right? 2,400 per email. Yeah, 8,000. 2,400 per email. We need Jeopardy. 5,000 maybe. Somewhere between 5,000 to 10,000, yeah.
All right. So unique clicks was 2527.
Wow.
So total of 3% of the
overall
original sending amount was clicked through during the campaign.
So it was just 2,500%. Okay. So 2,500 clicks.
There was at no point was the price mentioned in the emails.
That's a low click-through for that kind of intrigue game, right? Because people would click just for intrigue.
That is normal click rate for us now.
What, 1%?
0.5% to 1%. 1% is really good now.
Fuck. Google is messing around with us. Okay, so 2,500 clicks. Shit. Saying 5% might have bought it at that point. So 125 sales is what I'm thinking.
I think that's optimistic.
Is that your final answer?
100 sale, $199. That's a tough one. But it's your own list, it's your own offer, so that changes the game. Okay, 100 sales.
So 100 sales was my worst case scenario that I was thinking. We got 40.
Whew. Google.
Oh, man.
40. So that is
because you're disappointed, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'd be delighted with an $8,000 launch.
Well, okay. Keep in mind that I am paying Jason.
Yeah.
Keep in mind I have 3 weeks worth of work ahead of me. I have already put in a month's worth of work marketing this thing.
How much are you paying Jason?
50%?
33%. Because he's delivering all the content. It's completely him start to finish.
So all I'm doing 5K on this.
No, I split that with John.
Yeah, I mean, Simple Programmer is making 5K on this with all of the fucking work.
Yep.
Dude, you guys should start selling book summaries. Because you don't have to do any work. Just kidding.
Well, so so that of the total overall sends, our conversion rate on the list was 0.06%. Which is statistically zero. I've never seen. Okay, now keep in mind. So this was the probably the topic that we have made more money on than anything else, except for John's 10 steps to learn anything quickly.
So here's my problem with the offer though. It's a live course and it starts now. That really doesn't leave many options on the table for someone to just consume it on their own. And that
It's
would
all going to
totally
be.
reduce
It's all going to be, and it says right on the sales page. It's all going to be delivered. You can take it anytime you want. We're just running it live as a perk if you want to participate. But the whole thing is going to be available.
So backward justification, right? What is happening in the buyer's mind is
what is happening in the buyer's mind is that they don't care about anything now that John is gone. I am 100% serious.
Let me explain one more thing. Let me explain one more thing. I think what is happening is that the buyer's thinking, it's a live deal. That's why it's the price point. I don't want to do that. Screw it. I'll do it when it's live. Also, how many people clicked on the add to cart button?
I don't know. Let me look.
Because my contention is that
would be...
you lost people because of that membership thing. Because that's just, it's not what I signed up for. It's not. It's like if you had allowed a bump, I would have thought that would have been good.
All right. So a lot of people. This is a common thing to do. It is not. That probably cost us a small. This is where when you are off by orders of magnitude, that's not why.
Yeah, but you lose. I mean, it's like attrition and
that might have cost me 1 or 2 sales, honestly.
I think it would cost you more because as soon as I looked at the cart, that's the first thing I noticed.
Okay,
Chuck, you know what we're talking about?
So let's look. We wanted to look.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
So you wanted to see add to carts, right? So let me look at that.
Because at that point, they've seen the price.
Right. Well, what I've typically seen is that the add to cart has fallen. Where our numbers have tanked in the last year is in the add to cart. Basically, once we get to the cart, everything looks fine. But people read the sales page and they don't click add to cart. They read the sales page, they don't click add to cart. This has been going on. I watched hundreds of screencasts or screen recordings of people doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I don't know if that comes down to then that because John's gone, nobody cares.
It's a combination. So the reason that people were willing to pay, basically the high-priced course model is dead. I hate to say it. No, I'm completely serious. The high-priced course model is dead.
No, true.
Let's see. All right, so I need to look at checkout, right?
Well,
how many
maybe
clicked on
to your
the order?
point? Maybe to your point, I don't know, because I see people selling high ticket courses, but usually it's a sale as much on who's teaching it and how much I believe in them as it is
exactly.
The content.
All right, so let's see here, the number of add to carts. Let me just make sure I'm giving you the right. Yep.
So if it was John teaching the course, then you might be able to sell more of them.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So the total number of add to carts was, the number of unique page views on that was 83.
On add to cart?
Add to cart. So that
you
means
have a pretty decent.
So that means my cart abandonment rate was less
50%.
than 50%. Yeah.
You had pretty good cart abandonment rates, so you did well on that.
So that is not the problem. The problem is no one is willing to pay $200 for a course.
Dude, people are willing
One-
to pay $200 for a job.
People are not willing to pay. So the exact same funnels.
You have to sell
that-
them on Jason.
The exact. I did. That was all I did. That's what this
I
was.
know, but
The exact same numbers from even before John quit. Okay, before John quit, before John announced, the exact same numbers on our top performing funnel, which was 10 steps to learn anything quickly, is $99 to get. So we were selling at $99 and then discounting down to $79 to get the same the same count of sales. I have to drop that all the way to $29.
Yeah.
So everything
For the same
is
course?
consistent. Everything is consistent through the funnel. Nothing has changed through the funnel except now to get 100 sales a month, where before I could charge $79, now I have to charge $29.
Only 80 out of 2,500 clicks, 2,500 sales page views is what, 3%, 4% of people who are actually buying on add to cart. All right.
So
It's 3%, 3.25% or something like that. That's pretty bad.
yeah, it is.
But if you think of overall,
make the button bigger.
huh?
Yes, I should have split tested it. Dang it! It should have been a green button instead of a red button.
Though I think what could have held people back quite a bit is this deadline of date, because only so many people really are looking for a job at this moment.
Yes, well, that's the problem. So with Simple Programmer, with the way that we have the audience, there is no topic that I've been able to find that is urgent enough that people want to spend a large amount of money on it, but also captures a large segment of the audience.
Yeah.
The closest thing we have is the learning course, and that was selling at like 3.5%. The same funnel now it converts at 1.25%. No changes to it at all. So yeah, it really seems to be price erosion is the big.
Or you've sold out most of the people who are going to buy that you're reaching out.
Nah.
Yes. Well, if I were to rerun it again, what I would probably expect would be to get 20 to 30 instead of 40.
Yikes.
Yeah. So I'm not rerunning this again.
At that point, it's not worth it.
No. So, I mean, I think that there will be. It's a moving pool of people that would be interested. So, I mean, I don't know. It might be possible to hit 30 to 50 again, but it's just not worth it for that amount of work. My worst case scenario on this was 100. My okay, this has been worth it number was 250.
Oh,
And
bro.
this is this is pretty.
For all the effort you put in, it's worth. Like how many man hours of work have you put in and are going to put in?
I mean, I've probably put in like a month's worth of work at this point, and then we're gonna be delivering it. So yeah, so I'm not super. I didn't have a great weekend. What kills me is the math, how the math all fall. Like it's like makes sense. What? That's why I was kind of enjoying Manny walking through it, because I knew, like at the end, it's like, what?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, at 2,500 clicks, I mean, 2% is what you got. Typically, 2% isn't always a bad conversion page, right? But since it's your own offer.
Yeah, so we did Interview Cake. With Interview Cake, but with John being the voice of the emails, we had I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was something like
30K.
We did a 1%, 1 to 1. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did about 1% of the list. Bought Interview Cake at $99 with John, and then
800 people bought the damn thing.
No,
$80,000.
It was, we only had 45,000 people on the list back then, and we did 475 sales to an affiliate offer with
But
John.
that was the first time. But then the second time it wasn't the same number.
The second time it was about half of that. It was like 200 and something.
So you made 20. You guys did 20K.
Yeah, and that was with.
But you're splitting that with Interview Cake, right?
Yes.
20K is gross.
It was a 50-50 split. Yeah. So it was definitely like a it was a pretty that was after John had stepped down. We still were using his emails, but I bet that if I were to just put my name on those emails, that number would get cut in half or even more again.
Come on, man. It's not true. It's not true. It's all about you.
It is true. Yes, it is all about me. It's all about me and no one caring.
You can do it.
So, yeah. So anyway, I am kind of bummed about that, and I don't know. I don't really. So it's not. At this point, I'm not going to try to sell anything above $50. I think I can do impulse buy stuff, at like a $29 price point. I can sell enough of that to make it worthwhile. But basically what this means is that we have a cap for any promotion. Like there's just no earthly way to exceed like maybe $5,000 to $10,000 for any given promotion. It's just not possible because you can't, like, if you can't sell.
Gross?
Yeah. I mean, well, no, I guess I mean our take. So if we do like an affiliate, like we did ours, right? Yeah. And ours was like around.
Oh, by the way, just I think there's 1K plus sitting on my end that hasn't been sent over to you guys because there's a Thrive Card PayPal connection problem, which like now I have to freaking manually approve, like go through and try to do that, and there's like 100 or maybe 50 of those. I'm like, so I'm trying to resolve it. Once I resolve it, you'll make another $1,000.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, basically at this point, it doesn't make any sense to do large courses. Like we have no evidence that we can sell anything above about $50.
Let's sell the damn membership, man.
I mean, I'm going to do that every month. And that'll probably be, we'll probably make the 50 to 100 sales a month on that, and I'll sell that. But basically I'll do that. And I may or may not do an affiliate promotion every month. And I think I'm just going to plan on riding it at that because, really if you can't, the only way to really grow something like this is to be able to sell a $500 or $1,000 product, and that's just not going to happen anytime soon for us. So,
you have to become the celebrity if you want to do that. That's part of the challenge, right? Anytime you go from like $100 price point upwards, people are buying you more than they're buying the product, right? Because they can buy similar knowledge in other cheap courses, but they're buying you behind that, and that changes the game completely.
Yeah, and I don't know that So I think that when this all started, like when things started to kind of decline for us on the product sales side, it seems to coincide with John's last blog post publishing. So the book finished up. We launched the book in August of 2018. We launched it in July. I think the last blog post published sometime within a month or two after that, and it's just been like tick, 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 tick. Ever since then, it's just been down, 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 like this long, slow, steady decay. And I think that the audience has no relationship with anyone at this point.
Well,
the majority of the
have
audience.
you considered writing blog posts under your voice? And like, you don't have to write them. You can have the editor do all the work or the writer do all the work, but you tell them what to do and start that. Like, instead of writing an email, because email doesn't really build authority. I don't think it does. Just the way a blog post or a YouTube video or podcast does, right?
I actually disagree with that. Like, from what I've seen, like if you mainly use email as a sales vehicle, then yes, that's true. But if you're doing content emails, like the way this works on my list, my joshuaearl.com list, is like people are freaking like, I've heard from people who set their coffee break to the time that my emails are set to arrive. So like email is actually the most powerful medium. I mean, YouTube is useful because I think podcasting and email are probably the two best vehicles for that. And then YouTube is good because people are seeing you, but our audience doesn't really seem to respond all that well to video. Like the blog audience doesn't watch videos when we send them out. They don't click on them. Like, they just don't care about video.
No, but you could have the blog post. In that case, a blog post can be the place where, instead of writing those content emails that you write, you can just put them on the blog post.
Yeah. I mean, I've thought about, I mean, I think that's what I'd have to do. I've also thought about like trying to narrow the focus down and just like picking something, and it would probably be the like personal branding, marketing yourself side of it, and just hammer that, and just like that's what I talk about once you sign up, and like the overall sign up rate, like the site. If we made all of the if I made all of the opt-ins point to that, signups would go way down, but at least it would be people that have a similar interest. You know what I mean? So I've thought about doing that, but yeah, I don't know. It's just not really clear where to go from here.
Yeah.
So there's not really a playbook for this.
Well, the playbook is actually there in the sense you're converting it from a personality. You have to decide whether you're converting it from a personality or non-personality business. You're going the route of entrepreneur, Inc., or any of those things, in which case it's a different game than trying to go Tony Robbins.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'd have to convert it into a publishing house, essentially, where we're selling a lot of $10 products.
Yes.
Which is
all of them sell $10, $20, $30 products.
Yeah, which the thing is, like, the amount of work. Well, the problem with that is you can't promote. I was talking to Jason about this. You can't promote more than a few products effectively, right? So if you've got, like, Amazon does not use email to sell you on every single product that they have on their store. You have to become a store where people are coming to shop. We don't currently have that. We're currently the model when you are a content engine is to sell a few things at a higher price typically. Like if we were to just like reconfigure the store and I had like 100 $9 products tomorrow, I would be willing to bet that our revenue would be the same or lower than what we're getting now, because we'll get a ton of sales. But like the blogging workbook,
not higher.
Yeah, sorry, same or lower. Yeah, the blogging workbook is our top selling by numbers product, but we only make like $600 a month off of it.
Yeah,
it's 500. It's 500. So even if we had, and we're promoting that with an email course. Like even if we had, so like we need like masses of people coming to us to buy, specifically looking for things to buy, which is where Udemy is able to make it work.
All right. So
but getting that traction is
this
tough.
guy, he runs, like, John and I had dinner with this guy. He runs the College Investor. His name is Robert Farrington. We talked about him maybe previously, but his business is all about like just straight up publishing content and sponsors, and basically a lot of affiliate promotions through that, like credit card deals and student refinancing and refinancing deals and all that stuff. So literally his email the courses he has are all free that lead to affiliate products, and like that's the only way he makes money, all through affiliate revenue, affiliate products. And he's a publisher. Basically, he's become a publishing house.
Right.
And it's all ad revenue / affiliate revenue. But that's a completely different game from, let's say, if you go down the route of becoming Rich Dad Poor Dad, or if you go down the route of becoming, I don't even know if Mr. Money Mustache sells his courses, but Dave Ramsey, right? That's a personality brand. That's a different thing.
Right.
I'd much rather be in the College Investor game than in the Dave Ramsey game, because Dave Ramsey is still fucking Dave Ramsey. But College Investor is like anybody can take over. Tomorrow, Robert Farrington could sell the course and sell the business, and they can plug in new writers and new editors, and everything would work.
Yeah, what we've been seeing with so I had a bunch of new sponsors come on board in August, and none of them want to renew because the click-through rates are abysmally low. Like 80,000 emails and they get 100 clicks. So like so the sponsor I was hoping that sponsors were going to become a bigger part of it, but actually at this point I've got one sponsor that I still do on Friday, and they've done well, but everybody else has completely, like, there's just there's no pulse.
Yeah, I think you've got to see it through this phase of no John, because if you start another personality business, you again get into that rat race of like trying to get out of the personality business, and that really sucks.
Right. Well, I mean, but the problem is, this is what I'm seeing. This is the results I'm seeing with not doing that.
But I think if you go down the route of the community, the simple programmer community, then it's not about John anymore. It's not at all about any specific human being. It's just
I mean, I'm going to continue to do that, but there's like it would take. So we're getting at 50 signups a month. That's only 600 times 99.
How many new emails are you getting per month?
6,000, roughly. 5,000 to 6,000.
Yeah, so if you convert 10 of them, no, not 10, 10%. If you convert 1% of them, that's what's happening right now?
No, I'm converting off of 82,000.
I get it, but still, like, if you just think of the new traffic, or at some point,
but I'm looking at the people that are coming in that are actually buying, and none of them are new people, or like almost none of them are. They're like mostly people that have been on the list for 3 years.
So I was talking to my friend who is the founder of Asian Efficiency. It's like it's an efficiency blog. You know the guys?
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Tan is the guy.
They have a huge like Facebook group too, right?
Yeah. So he's my good buddy. Known him for years. And we're talking about how, when it comes to efficiency, what these guys are doing, they have a list of 40,000. 40,000. Right. They're selling a monthly membership of $49 per month. But what they're able to, and it's like Tan is out of the picture now. Tan is not the face of the business anymore. I mean, he's still the owner, but like he's like the podcast is being run by another guy. The business is being run by another guy. He's kind of like somewhat doing the marketing and stuff, but he's out of it. So he's not the big brand behind it, right? What he was telling me was that the only way they were able to sell the $49 a month membership was initially offering a tripwire at around like $9 to $19 range, get them to buy something. And as soon as you get them to buy, then you get them to a monthly membership or something like that, and now you got them a believer, and they stick around for like 7 months or so, and I think their annual membership is like $300, so that kind of evens out. And then they have higher end courses, but then Tan is not the face anymore, so they're doing like 120K per month in recurring just from the memberships. They have 2,500 memberships right now. So that's like $50 a month, 2,500. Yeah, 125K.
Right. Well, I mean, at this point, I think I can do, I can do 60 a month times 12. That's 720 a year. And then, like, there's no way I could do more than $99 a year.
Well, the value proposition could be different because his audience is very similar to yours. They're programmers, they're smart people who are making maybe 100K or something like that, and they are spending the money on productivity. So why not on their career?
That's what I say.
No, I think there is
apparently spending $200 on your career is cutting off your right leg.
No, I think there's a value proposition that you guys can tap into. But you might want to talk. I don't know if I can see if you might want to talk to Tan. I can try to see if he'll talk to you. If you're interested, I can talk to him, and maybe you can talk to him about how he transitioned from him being the face to him not being the face, and hiring the right people, and like kind of doing this.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at their site.
AsianEfficiency.com.
Well, and you may just have to get through the transition and then figure out where to go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a prime example of someone who's able to do it without the personality anymore, and I like that.
Yeah, one other thing I'm just going to throw in here is that I'm not sure that I have a clear idea what you're trying to transition to. And I think if you can articulate that to the people who are currently on your mailing lists and things, you may be able to get a little bit more buy-in and have people go along with you on that.
I definitely agree with you on that. Like, it's definitely hard. I mean, that's been the whole problem. That's like the whole difficulty with Simple Programmer is it is very broad. This coding interviews thing was about the clearest value proposition that I've able to come up with, which is why it's been kind of a litmus test for me. Where
are you sure? Did you send out a survey to the list?
I mean, well, I did better than that. I made an offer, and people spent $60,000 to buy a product related to this topic.
Well,
John was the one that was.
How was that offer different from this one? It probably didn't.
The difference is two things. Well, three things. Price was $99 instead of $199. John was the voice. And then the other major difference was that it was about data structures and algorithms versus strictly coding interviews.
That might be it.
I mean, it might be.
Right? Because you're still able to sell $20,000 worth of that shit if you go very precise and say, this is the kind of stuff. And I think the timeline that you had, I wish you had not even mentioned the timeline. That would have changed the game a little bit or maybe a lot, because then people are not like, oh, I don't need it right now. They would have just bought it because it's available right now and it'll go away. And maybe at a later time, they'll use it. But with this timeline you had, it's opening now, it's closing now, or not that, like, in the sense it's only going live on Monday and that's it. It kind of puts a little, I'm not going to use my $200. At least that's what I was thinking. Like, oh, I'm going to spend $200 and not get the benefit of the live. Fuck that. So sometimes showing them the benefit hurts you, because then they're like, if I cannot use this benefit, I might not even expend the money. So if you had not even thrown in that extra benefit and you'd just been like, here's your course, and then once they enroll, like, oh, by the way, live shit's happening. Now you have more people buying.
I very deliberately did the live thing because we've been seeing such poor results with the canned courses.
Yeah.
So the live was an attempt at a value add to overcome what I think is basically the canned courses. That's where you're playing in Udemy's sandbox with the $10, the $10 ceiling. And so the live and like access to Jason, who's like, you know, one of the best people in the world, like one of the best coaches in the world on this topic. You know, being able to get his help directly. And if you completed all of the homework that we were going to assign, you'd actually get a one-on-one mentor, like a one-on-one mock coding interview with him, which, you know, if I was going to offer that, I probably would charge $300 for it.
Yeah.
So, and plus we had John's course on there as a bonus, which is $199. Like I threw in how to market yourself as a bonus. So that's a $299 course right there. That we sell. So
yeah,
this was kind of a throw everything I can at it type of effort, and it just really didn't pan out.
I'm willing to bet the interview cake offer is like, I'm looking at the interview cake offer, and I looked at your offers as well on the sales page, and interview cake is it's just so straight up technical.
I was sending people to the interview cake page that I was sending them to was a landing page with just their guarantee and a buy now button.
Right, but you had done all the selling in the email with whatever the specific things you had, right?
Right.
I still think that a lot of your problem, Josh, how do I put it? I think you're out there trying to find, you know, the thing that's going to click with your audience. And I think, honestly, you're going to get more people on board if you can figure out where you want to take them and then tell them. I really do. And it sounds backwards because you're essentially going to tell them what they want and then take them there. But what you're going to do is you're going to allow people to opt in on what you can offer. And
dude, this is not Chippendales.
Howdy.
I thought we were doing programmers without shirts off. So that was Manny sent me an invite that said that.
And that's why you didn't show up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I think if you're giving people the vision instead of trying to figure out what people want, I think you're gonna have a lot more success. I think that's why it worked for John too, was that he basically told people, you know, it was broad, but he was leading them down a particular path.
Well, maybe not. Maybe it was, you know, John was a personality and they were just going wherever John was going, in some ways, right?
Yeah, but if he wasn't offering something that they wanted, and John was offering a vision and an idea that was natural to him, I think that's really where it came down to, was that he was taking people where they wanted to go, and he was convincing people that was a place they wanted to be, and then he just, you know, executed on what he, you know, where he thought he added value, instead of trying to figure out what's going to sell to the audience.
Yeah,
I think if you can articulate a vision, you're going to lose some people, but you're also going to get the people on board who really want or need it, and those people are going to become your rabid fans, and they're going to be buying everything you put out there, like they were doing for John's products.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be a personality business. It can be a, you know what? Yeah, I'm Josh and I'm leading the charge, but I've got all these other people making all this stuff, you know, that's going to help you achieve this vision that we have for you. And, you know, so if our vision for you is what your vision is for you, then come along for the ride and we'll continue to give you what you need.
Yeah. There is some truth to, like, being very clear on the vision you are selling to the audience, and helping them along the journey. But I'm also like, I'm willing to bet that John didn't really know that he was going to do all of this 3 years out. He was just going along with the ride, and as
he didn't.
stuff. He's like, okay, well, I think the audience need this. You could do some survey and figure out and then sell that. And you can do that again and again. But they were along for the ride because John was there and they kept on following whatever. Now John is here, so we don't need to talk about him as if he's dead.
Yeah,
I feel like I was a ghost. Like,
yeah, this is a Bruce Willis moment, John. Like, you just
like hovering above my body. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, I think John had, and John, you can correct us if we're wrong, but I think you had this intuitive idea of what was going to be good for people, and that's what you talked about. And
yeah, I mean,
so
yeah.
If you're running around trying to find an offer that'll sell, as opposed to just being out there and saying, look, we're Simple Programmer, this is who we are, this is what we think you need, so here it is, I think that's going to change the equation.
That's what I'm trying to do.
I know, but it feels like when we're talking about things, it's, well, I put this offer out there and it didn't sell, and I put this offer out there and it didn't sell. Instead of talking about the core idea and the values and things that go into what it is that you're trying to do.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Because if you stand for the specific values and principles, then it's easy.
Then people will say, yeah, that's what I want. And then they'll get on board. And then if you say, hey, you need this course, you need, for those of you that need to find a new job to get what it is that, aligns with our values, here's the thing. And that way people know that's where you're coming from, and they'll buy it because they trust that you've aligned that with where you think they need to be.
Yeah, I think what you're saying, shit, man, John, you should talk because this is getting kind of ridiculous here. We're talking on your behalf. Chuck and I are going at it.
So we're talking about why people bought stuff when I was originally selling it.
Well, we're talking about how I can send emails I can send almost 400,000 emails and only sell 40 seats in the course.
43?
40.
Oh.
40 seats?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, what was the expectation?
I mean, for me, my worst case scenario was 100. My this was worth it number was 250.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Definitely
50K.
I mean, I think some of it just has to do with the offer and the timing of the offer, and you don't know. I mean, some of it is just that. So to me, it sounded like a great idea, coding boot camp. I mean, the interview boot camp. But I wonder with the economy how it is and how many people are fighting over software development jobs, like companies trying to hire software developers. If right now it's like the pain of trying to get a job is not so great for a large portion of our audience. And maybe, me and you, Josh, we're thinking, shit, like these are skills that I need to have. Like I can get a better job. And maybe everyone else isn't thinking that. Like, they're thinking, well, shit, my house is not on fire now, so I don't need any water.
Right. That's possible too.
Yeah, let's not install the fire hose, or we don't need sprinklers or fire alarms, right? And so it's not something that is like that burning. So I think there is definitely.
I'm not convinced on that.
I mean, there's an aspect of like what you guys were saying, like. If you have a cultish following, you can lead people. Like if you have a definite direction and you're leading people, they will follow you in that direction. They will, and that's has always been what I've done. It's still what I do, right? Even with YouTube, and it's what am I interested in? What am I wanting to put out there? And there is an aspect of that, and so you can have an offer that doesn't match up to the market and still get people to buy if they're buying you. That's always part of the equation. But at the same time, I think that doesn't mean that's the only way, right? And I think in this case, it's probably just like I said, is that the right offer will perform, and we've seen it, right? We've seen it on the Simple Programmer even since it's we've exited the John show and Simple Programmer. is that with the right offer, with Pluralsight, when we did it the first time, even the second time was pretty good with Cody.
Yeah, but all those emails were from you.
That was everything.
The ones that, the things that have worked somewhat well in the last 6 months was the Pluralsight. We reran Interview Cake, which were all your emails, and then we reran Pluralsight for all your emails.
Yeah, but see, this is my point: is that you haven't successfully connected the things that people valued about John, because it's not just about them trusting him. It's the things that he talked about and the ideas that that he put out there. You haven't successfully connected that to Simple Programmer, and so you haven't convinced people that you're selling things now for the same reasons that you were selling them then. And it's because some of it is tied to the fact that they associated that with John, but you need to find some way of successfully associating those same values and ideas to Simple Programmer as a company, and just say, look, we're doing the same thing. It's just John's not the one talking to you all the time anymore. And I think people are just not seeing that. They're not seeing that, hey, we're doing the same things. It's just Josh and team instead of John. And so when you come along and you talk about this stuff, they're not making that association in their head. The things that I got from John that paid off for me are the things that I will now get from Simple Programmer that will also pay off for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that connection hasn't happened.
So if you can, I don't know if John needs to get involved in that for a little bit, or if you can just sit down and powwow and distill down, hey, look, these are the ideas that came out of John running Simple Programmer that people really latched onto, and then how can I weave that into the fabric of what Josh is doing and make sure that people see that they're still getting the same stuff.
Yeah, there's some value, like there's a lot of value in being clear about what the mission is and what the values are of the business, because that drives a lot of the business itself. If the mission is to help them in their career, it's different than if the mission is to, whatever. Like I'm sure there is some sort of a mission that you guys have, but when it was the John show, it was a different thing, because it was whatever John was doing was kind of exciting for the audience. But as a business, you guys also have to decide if you want to continue to be a personality, or if you want to transition from one personality to another, or become devoid of personality, in which case there will be the growing pains, or the pain of becoming devoid of personality, which I think is the better longer term move, because then you can literally build scalable, sellable business rather than just go from personality to personality.
I need to drop off soon, guys. But
you're just intimidated by John's lack of shirt.
He's just looking at him.
On 6 months, I mean, like that too.
I think Manny's right though about that. Like that makes a lot of sense. Like the idea that just if we're gonna shift it, like there's gonna be the growing pains, right? It's just gonna be right. I mean, so as more and more of the audience gets accustomed to what we're offering and what Simple Programmer provides, then they'll forget about the John era, right? As new subscribers that haven't ever been exposed to that, right? There's going to be, it's just that a large portion of our list and our audience is still like the old batch, I guess I'd say. So
yeah, but you're going to go through these pains no matter what, though. So if you can nail down what you're heading toward, and then you can get the right people on board to help you get there, and then you can clearly articulate that to your audience so that it's, hey, this is what we're doing to kind of continue the legacy that John gave us. I think you're going to get a whole lot more mileage out of that.
I mean, you can compare it to, though, like, here's the other thing, is the membership is selling well, right? Like,
well, I mean, it's selling like, it's allowing us to kind of limp along. It's selling like about 50 to 75. Like I'm doing about 60. Last time I bumped that up to like 80, 88 or something, but I've been getting around 55 signups a month, which basically just kind of replaces the product income that we lost over the last 6 months. So it's kept us basically flat.
But what I'm saying is that in terms of like the relative uptake of like people that are liking that offer and accepting that offer, it's well within line. I mean, it's not underperforming in that.
I think it's really underperforming.
What's the percentage?
Yeah. I mean, of the total email list right now. I mean, let's see. So the current. Let's see. It's just
how many did you make the offer to, and how many bought, or how many clicked, and how many opened, all that stuff, right?
Currently, the membership is of the current. So of the when I started making the membership offer, we had 107,000. I've pared that way down.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump off.
All right, Chuck.
So I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Take care.
It's 0.2%, basically. So it's really, really low.
0.2% of what?
Of the total list.
That's no. I mean, how many people did you make the offer to? Did you make the offer to the whole list?
Yeah, the whole list. I mean, I've made the whole offer to I've made the offer to the whole list 4 times now, and I've got 240 or 220. So
you made 220 sales out of 80,000.
Yeah, out of every time I do it, I get 50 out of 80,000.
Yeah,
basically, which is like that's like point.
And a large percentage of them are new blood.
Right? No, actually, most of them are older people.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
Yeah, that's what's scary is I'm basically cleaning out. I'm kind of coming in and getting the older subscribers. If I were to automate this funnel right now, we'd probably get 1 sign up a month. If that.
Okay.
If that. I'm not even kidding.
Remember when we launched the book, and even after we launched the book, when we tried to send out emails that were like, buy the book?
Yeah.
That was completely like, I mean,
useless.
It doesn't get more John Sonmez than that though, right? Because that was my book that I wrote, right? And so people weren't buying that offer, right? So I think, I mean, again, I'm not convinced that the equation, that the variable in the equation is me. I think there's an influence on that for sure. But
I agree. I don't think it's just you by any means. I think that's like one of a few different factors.
Maybe at this point it's irrelevant whether it was John or not, because the new direction is, if you guys are thinking about it, or I'm assuming the new direction is to make it personality agnostic, in which case it doesn't matter what John did. Now it's what can we do to grow the damn thing, right? Because whatever happened back then is what happened, but now
it's instructive to understand why why it's not working anymore.
We've done that post-mortem.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's another swing, and it's not, I don't know. I don't take too much from this, like just the right offers will, and like I said, I think a lot of the complacency has set in. And so what is the calling that people will respond to? They don't necessarily, maybe it's not that their need is that they need a better job or they need to get a job right now. I mean, there's definitely a portion of our audience that, well, if you think about it, the portion of our audience that needs the job is the portion also that lacks the resources. They don't have as much money, right? Because they need a job. So,
well, I think Interview Cake is doing fine with those people.
That hits on a whatchamacallit, a vulnerability, because people are like, oh shit, I don't really know how to do algorithm problems. I feel like I'm not a real programmer.
That's perfect. Just copy the Interview Cake model.
I mean, I think that's why that worked more with the audience. But what about other things that people want to do to improve their lives that make sense first? Like, I mean, and that's, I think maybe where Chuck was going is, it's like Simple Programmer was not just about improving your career, it was about improving your life and your mindset and
Right.
and again, I think we can in the soft skills, the social skills,
Mhm.
that aspect of it. I feel like if we push that button, we can still light that up, and it doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be. It's just that people gravitated towards Simple Programmer because it offered them a chance to become a better person and to improve themselves. And yeah, they were doing it along with John and for a while, but it doesn't have to be that. Whereas I think, like I said, with the career, if they've already got that, feel like they've got that handled, then they might not be as responsive to those offers. But perhaps.
Do you guys now have a mission statement and value statement? Like, what are the values and what are the mission?
Nope.
Because I think there's this great book, Built to Last by Jim Collins, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he talks about this idea of like the yin and yang, right? The changeless core versus stuff that is changing. And the changeless cores is the values and the mission and the purpose. That's like still the same. Disney was always, the core was always like to bring happiness to people, right? The way they do it changes. The externals of it are changing all the time. Same with Hewlett Packard, right? Their vision was to use technology for the betterment of humanity or whatever it was. That did not change. The goals and the other externals changed, but the culture, the values, the mission, the principles, they all stayed the same. But they were clear on what it was that they stood for, and then it was easy to make the offers. It was easy to kind of make the transitions or make whatever changes they need to make in the changing economy or the changing circumstances. So the book might be good reading at this juncture to think more about like values and mission and purpose, and then kind of aligning that with the new products or offers you guys make.
I think, well, one of the things with that is the idea like soft skills. The book really encompasses what was the mission, like the idea of Simple Programmer, which was that like as a software developer, you need to live a holistic life and improve in all areas of your life. And we'll show you how, right? From everything from financial acumen to social skills to marketing yourself to, fitness and.
No wonder I get so many wait lists from your audience on my social skills course more than anything else. The soft skills social skills course. Your audience is like they literally will email me like, "Hey, when can I buy it? Because it's not cool that you keep it closed." Blah blah blah. Like, of all the courses, that's the one I get the most emails and most from your audience. It's amazing. So now it makes sense because that's the thing you were selling to them all this time. I was always wondering, like, why? Like, I have so many. Why do they keep coming for soft skills? Why do they keep coming for social skills? That makes sense.
So the question is how to connect the connect the dots to make it so that we're still offering and representing that idea of what was behind soft skills.
Yeah. I mean, what I might try next time I do for right now, like I'm not planning to do any more course launches because it's just not worth the effort. But what I could try would be doing, I've been wanting to do more topical launches on the membership. So Jason and I were talking about that book, the Emotional IQ book. And I had floated that as a possible, like starting like a book, like a reading club or something inside the membership.
Excuse me? You had floated that?
What? The reading club?
Yeah.
Well, you may have suggested it at some point.
Excuse me? I'm sitting right here.
I mean, I actually, by floating it, I mean that I asked in the membership group. You didn't do that, I don't think, did you? Okay. I asked people if they're interested, and I did get some people that were. So doing like I might try doing like a themed month with the membership where we tackle like so it's almost like a mini course, but it would probably be a webinar for the members and then like a book discussion.
I'd be up for doing some of these just for free. I'll do them for your audience, and I probably have some credibility with your audience already, and the fact that I'm a programmer from the past life, it probably will help to sell that. You can say that you're going to get 4 webinars this month, or on this, and this books. These are the top 4 books, blah, blah, blah. And I'll just come and join. And hopefully that sells more.
Yeah, that would be cool. You should try that.
Because I'm kind of the quote unquote book expert, so that might be easy to kind of lay it out there, saying, "Hey, I'm bringing the book guy to do this."
All right. Maybe in November.
Yeah, I'm open to it.
Yeah.
I'm always up for it. It doesn't really take any resources from my side, except for what would be cool is if you and I just get on the call, and for an hour we chat about the book and we open questions, like allow people to ask questions about the topic. While we chat, we talk about it. You can ask me questions. I'll ask you questions. We'll dig deep. John and I have done it on YouTube in the past, but since we're trying to keep it John agnostic, I mean, if John comes in, then it's going to be explosive, but you don't want to tie off on that. Right. So, we just do it for the week, for the month, and see how many people like take up on that.
Okay.
Like how to win friends and influence people. Never split the difference. Those might be like the interesting social skills books. We come up with 4 or 5, and every week we just talk about one. And if it takes on, if people like it, well, we can find ways to keep doing it more often, or whatever.
What was the total revenue from the launch?
It's about 8,500.
Okay, so it's not horribly.
That's gross.
Bad.
That's going to be 2 months worth of work for me, John. It's pretty horrible.
Yeah,
and we're splitting it 3 ways. So.
Yeah. I mean, but this is the thing. Is like, I mean, welcome to entrepreneurship, right? It's like you put in time and hopefully you get a return, but sometimes you get no return.
Right.
And sometimes you get a better than expected return, and then you find stuff that works and stuff that doesn't work. And I mean, that's just it's like you can't just get up to bat and think that every time you're even going to get a hit at all. Like,
I understand that. It's just that for the last year, pretty much every single thing that I've done has underperformed my worst case scenario. So, and I keep lowering my expectations, and the bar keeps dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And no, Manny, that's not why the results are. Because if that's true, then my expectations for this were 3 times higher than what was actually like. So I would not have been able to, will anything into existence by tripling my already grossly unrealistic projections for this. So
yes, but what about your meta expectations?
all I'm saying is productivity did $1,000 more than your lowest expectations. That's all. We did 11,000, not
no,
10.
it did $1,000 more than my upper range.
Exactly. So we beat your expectations. What more do you want?
Well, but you threw a monkey wrench in there with the ads. If you take out the ad revenue, if you take out the ad spend, it was pretty much exactly what I predicted.
I spent the money, so you didn't have to worry about that shit. But I made it happen, right? So I'm with you. We can do it.
Right. Well, I'm happy to spend your money anytime.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, definitely there is an aspect of expectations setting reality, but sometimes it is, like I said, I'm not joking about the meta expectations.
Yeah.
Right. It's like.
My meta expectations have been that this is going to grow. That's the thing. I mean, like, I'm continually surprised. I've been continually surprised by this in a not good way.
But
so
okay.
I don't think that my expectations are what's been happening at all.
But here's how companies grow. It looks like I can't even draw it on this screen, but
like
it
the
looks
Dow Jones.
like this, and then it's like down, and then it's like this, and then like you hit these higher highs, but there's troughs and there's valleys, and I mean there's all kinds of shit.
Like the stock market.
Yeah, and so like I mean maybe it's like a year or two of a lower dip, and then but then it'll shoot up and and double. Like that's what I mean. That's how it was when I was first growing Simple Programmer, for sure. It did a lot of that for quite a bit of time, and there are things that are like, but the staple is growing, right? In the sense of like, I mean, the big win, like if you look at it in the long term, like a launch like this or something, it's going to have a much smaller impact than the SEO that is not quite as glamorous, but has been steadily rising the total traffic of the site, right? In 5-year period, that's going to have a much bigger impact. So and there will be big wins in there. It's just a matter of just keep on it doesn't mean you don't adapt and see what's working and change, but I don't a miss doesn't, even 5 misses in a row doesn't really phase me, because I know that's I don't know, it's also like the same thing like playing poker, right? I was just playing poker last night with my dad here, and you'll play perfect poker, you'll just get a shitty hands, or you'll just get shitty luck where the odds, you had 75% chance of winning, and then you lost, and there's nothing wrong that you did, but you can have a streak. You can be the best poker player in the world, and you can just have a streak where you just lose, and that doesn't mean anything. It's all about, like, are you executing? Are you coming up with the plan and executing the plan to the best of your ability? And that's the thing you have to judge on. And I think that, Josh, I mean, from what I saw of the launch and the emails, you came up with a great plan. You had a great execution. You executed it well, and that doesn't mean that it translates to a win.
Yep.
And I would say that the audience is the prime asset here. It's just trying to figure out what will happen. But 6,000, like 80,000 emails, 6,000 new emails per month is pretty darn solid for any kind of business, right? Still have 80K, going to 100K, whatever. But I think the whole thing that Chuck started, the mission, values, and purpose, I think you guys should revisit that to kind of at least have something that's outlined.
Yeah.
Kind of sets the North Star for the business. Right? Earlier, I think it was working out because John had it in his head. He knew what the mission and the purpose and the values were. He never had to verbalize it to himself because it was all in his head, right? Because you kind of know your personal values. You kind of know where general North Star is, but unless you translate it to something that everyone in the business knows, then it just becomes kind of unclear.
I think a good one too, like I said, I was talking about this, maybe we'll have to figure out when to do this, but I believe if we do a complete software developer career guide course, that will do really well with that, because we know that the book sells already, that we're selling plenty of copies, so we know that our audience will buy that they like that. So
you're gonna do it?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to do it for sure. Like it'd be weird if I didn't do it.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, not the problem, but that's like, that changes the game, because then again you don't have the numbers to prove which way it's going.
Well, think about this. I mean, you have to do what's going to work, not what you want to do necessarily, right? I mean, you can like try and and force down the path that is that's not the path that's going to work. But think about it this way, right? Let's say that we did like the complete software developer career guide, video course, right? And let's say that it sold well. And so maybe then, and we talked about this before, Josh, is making like the book the basis of the business, like the center piece. Then maybe then what ends up happening is that becomes the flagship product, and it doesn't require, yes, maybe I've created the course, but it doesn't require me to necessarily like, you've got the course, you've got the thing, you've got the cornerstone, and you can now just use that. You can push people down that path, and even if it is an email sequence that comes from me, it doesn't matter because we're just continually reusing that. And as new people come to the audience, that's the thing that we're pushing them towards and we're selling.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing at this point, that's the only course I'm willing to launch for the foreseeable future. That would make sense to do. And that would also give us a pulse on just the
software
overall
developer's career guide. Could that be converted into a community? Because that's
essentially what I'm doing.
I know, but if somehow there's extreme tightly coupled correlation there, in the sense that's exactly what you're getting. This is a simple software developer's career guide in a monthly membership format. It's not just a community, but a monthly membership where maybe you bring in guest experts to talk about specific ideas from the book or whatever it is. Like if that becomes part of the curriculum, that's the curriculum in some ways. And
I mean, that is my vision. Like if I were to define a mission statement or vision statement or whatever, that is my what I'm trying to do. And what I've been trying to do is pull out pieces of the book that I think would make good offers, like good useful pieces that people need to go deeper on and make deeper content about that. That's pretty much exactly what I had in mind with this course. So
instead
I think I think the problem is that, like, here's what I think is the central problem.
Okay.
Simple Programmer with John was lead this awesome, intense life. Escape your life of boredom and, punching into paychecks and your time in your cubicle, and get out and be like an awesome human being, right? And like run Spartan races with your shirt off and all this crazy stuff. And that's not who I am, right? And like so for me, like the thing that makes sense for me is to try to focus it on have a better career. Well, the people that we have attracted through all of that already have their career to a place where they are. I mean, the reason they were so attracted to John was because they kind of had their career dialed into the point where if they're comfortable, there is no bleeding neck issues with our audience.
Oh man, come on.
Well, okay.
Career wise, there are.
Well, if you sell it the right way, there is.
There's nothing that's like I have to take action on this today, or I'm going to be.
That's the whole process. That's the whole job of a sales page.
No, that doesn't. It's not how it works. You cannot manufacture the whole Gary Halbert quote about "give me a starving crowd." Like that's what he's talking about. Like you can't manufacture that level of urgency if it's not there, and so that's the crux of the problem is that we don't have that.
So think about this: most of the people who go to Tony Robbins have their life together, believe it or not, right? Most of the people who go there are going for the next level. That's their hunger, right? A hunger inside that burns so bad to the point where you'll do anything to do it.
Tony Robbins is the only person who's made personal development work.
Oh, there's so many.
No, there's a lot of.
That highway is littered with corpses. There are a few others. Yes.
Dude, no. There's so many.
There are so many people that have not made it though.
There are probably tens of thousands of $1 million businesses on personal development today.
Well, okay. Here's what I would say though. Here, like based on what Josh said, I have to push back a little bit on what you said, Josh, because you said that you're not that kind of person, but you are, because you bought into it, right? Did you not? Did you not start fasting and doing your the Olympic training, the rings training, And did you not start doing ketogenic diets? And did you not start, I mean, did you not leave your fucking job and like become an entrepreneur? And like, I mean, like you led the path for, I mean, you went right down that exact path, you know, as well in change and, you know, embrace this whole idea of personal development, you know, just more than anybody else, you know, just as much as anyone else. So I think you've got that for sure. Like, I think that, you know, you're maybe you're selling yourself a little bit short in that respect, because I mean, you've done it to the extreme that most people never would have, right? I mean, you've definitely gone on the crazy shit that I that I've kind of I've talked about, and you know, and I think it's benefited you, and so I think there is that aspect of it for sure. I mean, hell, shit, right? I mean, look at how many public things now, podcasts that you've been on, and just, you know, that you've put yourself out there, and so, you know, I think that's even a compelling story, just like your story, the story of how, you know, Simple Programmer transformed your life, right? I think that's a
right,
you know, an angle for sure, and so
yeah. But I mean, I'm that's kind of where I think that that's where the audience's interests lie. So
yeah, so we just keep on, you know, I think just hit on that, just hit on the idea of improving your life, improving yourself as a person.
So I want to give the example of Hay House. Hay House was Louise Hay, who started this whole self-development movement in some ways. Not Tony Robbins, Hay House, right? Hay, Louise Hay, wrote a book, You Can Heal Yourself, became a phenomenal bestseller. And then over time, she's literally become the publisher of all of this self-development material for a very typical, very specific audience, which is women at the age of 50 plus who are into personal development. And she's literally made thousands of authors legit rich and millionaires because of the platform she's given them. Right?
Nightingale is another one.
Earl Nightingale did that. Simon and Schuster are the other ones. Like, they're big ones who literally. Hay House is $100 million company today, but she just started as being the author in the personal development space, and today that business can be sold any moment. It's not about Louise Hay, even though the name is Hay House. Tony Robbins couldn't sell his business. Louise Hay could.
Oh shit! You know, I just realized, Josh, too, what we missed on the whole Jason Humphrey thing with this course was that, you know, just as I said that, like, you know, I was coaching Jason, and Jason went to 1 meal a day, and Jason started doing all this and reading all these books and doing all the stuff. So I don't know if that aspect wasn't there. So he's like, one reason to follow him is because he is focused. Like, there's the aspect of, yes, he's a smart mentor and can teach you how to go through a coding interview, but there's the bigger aspect of he's on the mission. That's why to follow him. He is the Simple Programmer mission. Like, he called me up and it's like, John, I want you to personally mentor me. I'm willing to pay you to do this, like, to get in your coaching. And then he did it, and he improved his life, and he, you know, got huge results. He bought 2 properties. He I think he might even have 3 properties now. So he bought real estate. I coached him on buying real estate, and he bought real estate. So I think that, again, like, it's there for sure, right? These are the things. In fact, that's, you know, if you look at him in general as just one of the our audience, if you took like our audience and said Jason Humphrey represents our audience, he does, because he went through and did the extreme diet. He lost like 60 pounds, and he bought real estate, and he, you know, started a side business, and he did all the things that I've talked about and professed through Simple Programmer. So yeah, I think there's that. I think that's that's the more powerful, like, you know, in both of us, we're looking at it from the aspect of, okay, this is a benefit to your career of learning the coding interview, but the real benefit is, like, be like Jason, right? Like, and he's gone through the gauntlet, and he can teach you this, but I don't know. I mean, that's the mission.
Yeah. I like it. So you can basically build multiple personalities.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was just at actually, I just also another good example. I think I was just when I was at the conference here in Orlando at FinCon, I got invited to a Dave Ramsey
Mm.
dinner, or like they had this cocktail party, and Dave Ramsey wasn't there. Chris Hogan was there, and this other woman, I can't remember her name now, but he's got his whole team, and they have their own brands and stuff that's all part of the under the Dave Ramsey.
Oh, his daughter.
I'm not sure if it was.
His
It might
daughter
have been.
does it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but the reason why that their credibility comes from that they share that same mission as Dave Ramsey.
Right.
So that whole company is still that same focus.
Yeah. And in some
They're not
ways,
just, yeah.
Louise Hay is the same way. Like she's just focused on personal development for a very specific niche of audience, and she like the mission and the vision continue to deliver on that promise. Even though there's like 1,000, Brandon Bouchard is under that umbrella too, but hey, still Louise Hay.
So we have the we can try out this emotional intelligence book discussion idea and see if that moves the needle at all. And then I also have one of the members is writing a book that's kind of along the same lines, and it's really about confidence. So I'm gonna try. We can offer that also and see what the uptake looks like on that, and see if this is really where the audience is interested.
Yeah. I think maybe it is just development for software developers, like what I called soft skills, but it really is personal development.
Is that the mission? Is that the mission? Personal development for software developers?
I think with a more of a bend on the career side, right? So that's where the word soft skills came in, was to more communicate it to these are career personal development skills. Soft skills is equivalent to that. So soft skills is really what I would say is the mission, or has been the mission that's been successful.
Career personal development for software developers.
Yeah, I mean that's a succinct way of describing what we've been offering.
No, well, yeah, maybe, but it's also like it's a good lens to look through everything else now. Is that personal development oriented, or is that more straight up career oriented? Huh.
Career is one aspect of it, right? It's like,
Right.
But the promise has always been, if you develop your ability to market yourself, if you learn how to learn things quickly, if you get in shape and develop mental toughness and physical discipline, if you develop the social skills and communication skills to succeed, your career will take off, and you'll have other options. You could become an entrepreneur. You could become retired, right? If you're financially smart, you'll be able to take the money you're making from your career, and you'll be able to become a better software developer and a better human being, and you'll live a more fulfilled and happy life. It's not just about writing the code.
Yeah. So I think you should just record this and condense it into a 1-line or 2-line statement, because that's it, right? That makes it. If you can convey that in the email, you convey that in every way, shape, or form across the board, then people either buy into it or people get out of it.
Get off my list.
What are the values you had in mind?
Like, what do you mean?
Transparency.
No. Okay. So here, this is an interesting experiment. Josh,
Right.
what are the values?
Okay. I mean, I won't be able to list all of them, but I can list some. Transparency, hard work, self-reliance, accepting responsibility, Investing in yourself. I can probably come up with a few more, but that's what I'm coming up with off the top of my head. Valuing, like, marketing yourself, or like buying into the idea that like just being a good technician isn't enough.
Okay. All right. Now I want to hear from John. What?
We should have done a closed ballot, but mine would be pretty damn similar to his. I mean, I agree with like Josh has got it for sure. Like it's the same. That's a pretty good encompassing set of the values, and there's more that we could come up with.
No, so John, just rattle them off.
Personal development, improving yourself, escaping the victim mindset, becoming stronger, transparency and vulnerability, genuineness, determination, commitment.
Okay. Interesting. So
yeah. I guess the one that Josh was talking about too, like trying to figure out, like, I don't know how you phrase it, but it's marketing yourself, but it's like not being afraid, being unabashed to self-promote, to go out there and,
but
being bold enough to take yourself to the world, maybe.
Yeah. I think personal development is not in Josh's list, but it's in your list first thing. Now we can talk about the semantics of it, but I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at the list here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one that came up, but I would. For me, that's like the same as investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Becoming stronger. Interesting, yeah. So I think it's good if you codify it too, because then it's easier to replicate John.
I just need a muscle suit now.
Halloween's coming up. You can run the 10K Halloween 10K with John in the muscle suit.
I'd be dead after 1K in the muscle suit.
But maybe there's an aspect of like, again, like I said, I was talking about how there's the path we want to go down, and then there's the path that we should go down, right? And it's like, maybe some of it is just like doing some things where Josh and I get together and get on the call and present something to an audience, or even co-write an email where we both have narratives in it. And, because like I said, I think that, I mean, Josh is a perfect example, and so is Jason Humphrey, of exactly what is appealing to simple programmer, right? I mean, they both fully bought into this mindset and improved their lives, right? And got benefits from it. And so that's, there's nothing wrong with us. Like, again, it's, it doesn't just have to be me. I mean, I think maybe the thing to show the world now is to say, look, John kind of pioneered this thing to tell the software developers that they don't have to be fucking nerds that don't get laid and don't have muscles and don't have lives and just like write code, and they can do other things, and they can, become better and should focus on other things. But maybe he pioneered it. But look, here's Josh who's done it. Here's Jason who's done it, right? Here's, multiple members of our audience who've done it and who've succeeded. And, this is the torch. We're carrying this torch forward. Come with us. Like, we're doing this together. At first it was, run behind John, but now let's link arms side by side and let's fucking go and go and do it.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Josh. I mean, when the membership is being sold, is that being sold, like, are these the values that the membership is selling, or is this membership selling more like develop your career kind of deal?
I think it's more on the career side.
Yeah. because that would change the game, right? That would change the price point too, because then it changes the way people perceive like.
I mean, I would think. I mean, my thought is that if they take the career stuff seriously, they would be more likely to spend more money on that. Because typically, so if you look at the niches, if you look at you look at the fitness niche, an expensive product is $30. You look at the marketing niche, and an expensive product is $10,000.
Sure.
Right. So the closer something is to the money, usually, the more the more obvious the payoff is, the more likely that there is that you're going to be able to charge a high price for it.
Except that there's Tony Robbins.
Yes, there is Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins he's selling. I bet you that if you look at his funnel, the reason he's able to sell $10,000 events is because he's selling 3 million books and getting 200 of those people, or 1,000 of those people to come to an event like that, right? It's just, that's usually how the math on
right. No, what I'm saying is he's selling personal development at a high price point.
Right. Yes, he is. But I think the reason, in the fitness niche, there's people that are going to be willing to spend $10,000 on stuff too. It's just the funnel goes like this. The funnel, it's really wide up here, and there's a much smaller number of people that are willing to spend.
But the same with marketing, right? There are people who will just buy books, but then there are people who will spend $10,000 on a mastermind.
Here's something interesting, Josh.
Yeah.
Do you think that Tony Robbins' flagship book, Waking the Giant Within?
You cut out.
You cut out at just the right time.
I lost your audio. Now I'm dying to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Do you think Tony Robbins' flagship book, Awaken the Giant Within, right? His Kindle version is higher ranked in the Kindle store or lower ranked than us, than the Complete Software Developer Career Guide?
Lower.
Like as in more sales or less sales?
Oh, come on.
As in less sales.
No.
It is. It's less sales. Yes.
Really?
He is ranked 8,597 in the paid Kindle store. And we hover between the...
What's the timeline?
6,000. Huh?
Is that dependent on timeline?
Just right now, if you look it up.
Yeah, as of right now.
No, but does the ranking take into account the timeline?
It takes into account like the sales in the last 90 days or something. I mean, there's like a rolling effect to it. No, I mean, it's mostly current sales, but it's like there's like a week or a few weeks. Like there's some kind of rolling algorithm that they use.
But that's good. That's really good.
My point is,
which is why. And the career guide has outsold soft skills by far.
Yeah.
And this is why I felt like the career stuff, focusing on the career stuff, seemed like a better way to go because, I mean,
we're getting to reach.
Dude, you're cutting out all the time.
You might
want to put on your shirt.
You're melting the wires there, John.
We're getting to reach is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But no, I think we hit on the key thing here, which is what Manny was talking with the values, just the whole going back to the basics. What made Simple Programmer great? What made Simple Programmer great? We all know it, right? Josh had a perfect description of it. The difference is though, when we tried to remove me from the equation, we removed what made it great. And it wasn't me, it was the values that I was espousing, right? And teaching programmers to be able to embrace and that they could become more. And so that was a mistake was, you can take me out as long as you don't take out my values, right? If you take those out, then we've lost the magic. So we just need to re-inject that back into Simple Programmer. And I can help do that. Like we can bring me in for certain things in order to do that. It's probably even not necessary, but I'm willing to do that, and we can do that for sure. But I think when we go back to that, we'll see the more, again, it's like that whole polarizing effect. The idea
Mm-hmm.
of getting those rabid fans that are
Mm-hmm.
after this, improving their lives,
Mm-hmm.
becoming better people. And I think that's that's the thing that's missing is people like, well, yeah, coding interview boot camp sounds cool, right? But without that push of this is the thing that is going to, this is just one aspect of improving your life in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think it doesn't have the same appeal. And I think Chuck was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I think we've found the thing that is broken.
We
I
could
think the
test
line-
this out by one way that would be good to test this out would be doing for the next membership drive, which I don't know if it's going to be. It probably won't be this month at this point because I am going to be tied up delivering this course for the next month.
You might as well return the money if it's not worth your time.
Well,
Another way to look at it.
Yeah, we're not going to. Yeah, I seriously considered that, but decided not to. But we could do it together. Like me, you, and Manny could do like a webinar for the members discussing that.
You don't even need 3 of us together at the same time. It could literally be 1 of us or 2 of us at the same time, and that would allow enough traffic to come or enough people to want to buy into it.
It might even be worth doing a free webinar to the entire list, basically with the title of "What is Simple Programmer All About?" Right, something along the lines of like, why Simple Programmer? What do we mean to you? Something more. Josh, you'll have to, market come up with the tagline or something. The headline that will get the opens, but something along that where we just talk about this and we're like, hey, look, this is what we're about. We're about, improve. This is why you want to join. This is why you want to be part of this community. Because, and if you look at it in the membership forums, you see it. I mean, I look through the threads in there. People are talking about, all kinds of shit, right? Everything from dating to building their businesses to running races and being stronger and all these kind of things, right? They have those values still, a lot of the people in the community. And so I think if we let everyone else know, this isn't just growing your career. Yes, I mean, it's this. This is why it isn't just about growing your career. It's this. It's because it's like, look, if you want to grow your career, you're doing it the wrong way anyway. The best way to do it is to grow as a person. If you grow as a person, if you become a better person, you're going to become a better software developer, and you're going to have more opportunities, and you're going to have a better life in general. But it starts with not focusing on just the technical stuff that everyone else can teach you. All of that shit, that's fine. I taught it for plenty of time. But the reason why I shifted Simple Programmer is because I realized that when you focus on becoming a better person, improving yourself in all the areas of your life, the world became your oyster. Everything you want to do, your career improved dramatically just by you becoming better.
I think the line that you said earlier, it might be the ultimate tagline that I've heard so far in all of this conversation, which is teaching programmers that they can become more. And that leaves such a big, that's really, as a programmer, if I think about it, I get excited. Because as a programmer, the whole tag on you is you're a freaking nerd. And all you can do is write code in a cubicle. But when you say programmers can become more, teaching programmers that can become more, now it gets exciting. I feel that I can be part of a movement. I think what has happened is John was the movement, but without John, there is still a movement. Unfortunately, you haven't codified the movement, you haven't clarified the movement, so the movement is all spread out. It's thin, it's watered down right now. But once the movement is clear again, I think people can participate in it again. Without John being the movement can still be a movement. What Seth Godin talks about in the book Tribes. Right? You guys can create the movement without you being the face of it. Teaching programmers to become more.
It's almost like if we're having people teach things, we need to, their credibility doesn't lie in their ability to teach. It lies in the ability that they're also a Marine, right? It's like the reason why, it's because you're also a Navy SEAL. Let's say that, right? Like, it's like, yeah, this person has this expertise. They're going to teach this thing, or they're going to give you this value. But we've all been through boot camp, right? So, that's why I follow, not because of the skill, the specific skill, because we all realize the value of how this piece of your life is going to improve everything. Like,
and also I think there's a part of it, like initially it was follow John, but now it is we're on this movement together. Whether John is there or not, we're in this together rather than follow John. Follow John was a different movement in some ways, even though the bigger picture, the North Star might be the same. Follow, the bigger picture of programmers becoming more. But in terms of what the community is today, you could still be like, we're going on it together. We're going on this journey together. John may not be here today. Martin Luther King is not on here today, or Steve Jobs is not here today, but we're, as the Apple maniacs, we're still standing up against the same old PC or whatever. It's like a movement thing, yeah. But movement with the community rather than movement because of the personality. That's the distinction that has to be made now, or that is the next step, or that's part of the step in the journey. Not the personality, but the movement itself becomes the movement.
Well, I think we agree, right? I mean, is it?
And I was thinking about what, like you're saying about the course. You don't even have to sit down and create the course. You could literally get on a call once a week, talk about their shit, and let people take a chapter of the book, talk about it, and discuss. And that becomes the course for eternity. In the sense, now it can be sold forever. 52 weeks, 52 videos. You're talking about this one thing. I don't know how many chapters there are, but you pick
60
few chapters.
Exactly. Gonna be a while.
Yeah, but yeah, it can. Yeah, I mean, creating the course, I don't think will be too much of a difficulty of riffing on each one of those topics.
That's true.
I am
but
wondering,
if you get interaction, it becomes even more fun and golden in some ways.
Yeah. Other thing I was thinking about too that just occurred to me is maybe it does make sense. I don't know, with the membership, Josh. What about creating the specific forums that are specific to these other pieces, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have been trying to not add forums until I see clusters of discussion.
But if we
you don't want to create, because what you don't want to do is have 30 different forums that all have 4 different posts in them.
Right, but what if
it's not with only 250 members? I'm trying not to dilute the discussion, so that's why I've been keeping it at so far. I have the general discussion forum, I have a job posting forum, I have and basically the general discussion is where everything happens, and the other ones I have to push people to post anything into.
But what if it's a writing prompt, right? A writing prompt helps for writing, and so the forums, if we had one on fitness and one on investing and one on marketing yourself and one on, right, almost following the soft skills section outlined, right. or perhaps some hybrid of the soft skills in Complete Software Developer's Career Guide, where it's all these topics that maybe there's 5 or 6 of them that are all essentially encompass the idea of improving yourself as a software developer, right? Personal development. That I think that might, because then we're setting the tone of what this is about, and then we can sell that as well and say, this is the place that you go in here and you meet with other people that are not just software developers. They're people who are serious about improving their lives. They happen to be software developers, and they understand you because they know what it's like to be the nerd that's picked on. They know what it's like to they think analytically. They think that's been. But here's someone running a race, running their first marathon, and hey, wouldn't you like to join? And what's your discussion on this or on they're doing a ketogenic diet, or they're doing the OMAD 1 meal a day. And, because I think all those, our audience is all interested in those things.
GOMAD and OMAD. Very similar acronyms. Very different.
They're
results.
different.
I have. Can I recommend another book here? Start with Why by Simon Sinek.
By Simon Sinek, yeah.
That's the book. Literally, like whatever we're talking about, that's where we're going right now. Because I think the why is kind of become hazy in the business, because the guy who knew the why, or the guy who was like screaming about the why, in some ways, maybe you didn't even clarify it every time, but you knew it. So you were constantly like evangelizing it, but that part is gone. So now it's fragmented. But I think Start with Why is kind of all about understanding the why and kind of going back to codifying it so that the business can live with the why. And without the why, it becomes very difficult to sell anything, or to have a movement, right? Or have any kind of a, then you become commoditized without that, right? The difference between Apple and the commodity is the why.
I'll never forget that book.
Yeah.
I was listening to the audio version of that book, Huntington Beach, running down the boardwalk, 5 miles from a bathroom, 5 miles to go back.
Shit.
Ran as far as I could, tried to make it back, had to go to the ocean.
The why was to get to the bathroom.
All right. Well, this episode's going down the toilet, clearly.
The best episode ever.
No, it's good though. Hang in there, Josh, buddy. You're doing a great job. Like, it's just, we just gotta, it's just fucking just punches and rolling with the punches and figuring this shit out. And it's gonna, I mean, there'll be that high point. It's coming. Just got to keep on beating the drum, making slight direction shifts. And I really do feel like what we talked about today is the missing piece. Like, none of us could put the finger on it. We kept on going back and forth before between saying, well, it's John, like if John's out, or but it wasn't. Like I said, it's not me. It's what I was, the values that I was espousing to the audience that they connected with, because they wanted to become more than just software developers.
It was you, but it wasn't you, in the sense, right. Yes, we were right on the first level diagnosis, but there was a deeper diagnosis beyond the diagnosis that we didn't get right, or we didn't understand, we didn't uncover until now. I think this is the deepest a business can ever go, which is understanding the values and the mission and purpose. That's what Date with Destiny already boils down to, right? Date with Destiny, that Tony Robbins talks about values and mission and purpose. That's all there is to it. Everything in your life boils down to that, and in business, that's what's happening here.
And I know you've got it, Josh. Although I wouldn't have trusted you from the very beginning when we went into business. I mean, I literally gave you half my company because I trusted you so much. But because you espouse those values, that's the key. That's the key. I mean, yes, you definitely earned it. I don't want to take away from your earning it, but I gave the opportunity. Like, I wouldn't consider giving anyone an opportunity to have half of my company had they not been the epitome of those values, which you clearly are. So that's the key.
Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna go back and read all these books myself now. But yeah, I mean, let me know whenever. I'm open to whatever kind of selling you do on the books thing. I'm open to coming in and participating in those.
Oh, hey, real quick note before we wrap up from the conference. I had some nice dinners with Bluehost. They took me out to dinner they're really excited. They're willing to do like an entire they already did a landing page, but they're willing to do another landing page and to do a complete a discounted promotion that would be exclusive to us. When they heard about Pluralsight, they're like, "What the hell?" They're like, "We would totally work with you, right? We'll get on the phone, they're like, so I think we actually would kill it
What's the offer they're giving you guys now?
I don't know what the exact offer is, and we can kind of negotiate the terms with them, but they're 100% willing to work with us and to do that.
Okay.
So, and it does fit. I think anyone who's thinking about creating a blog or becoming an entrepreneur, I mean, website is where you start, or marketing themselves. So it should be a pretty good fit. But yeah, the fact that they're willing to they got the whole idea of sending customized emails and doing a launch to our list. And then they've done it before with a few affiliates where they did.
They do it for Pat Flynn, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Cool. That could be good.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
What else did you get from FinCon?
Let me see. A lot of good connections. I'm going to interview Chris Hogan.
Nice.
I'm going to interview Mr. Money Mustache. Met with him.
Great.
Pete from Mr. Money Mustache. And some of the stuff we could even do crossover stuff on Simple Programmer and pieces of it that. And then what else? There was some other big one. Oh, Realty Shares. I talked with those guys. They're super excited about, and they think that will sell really well. They're super excited about doing some kind of promotion with them.
What's the affiliate promotion for that? Because
what's the price? What do they give you?
No. What are they giving you when someone joins them?
I think they start at like $125 per lead, something around there.
Not per lead, but per investor.
No, per lead.
Per lead.
Per lead. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, they track whether people become investors on the platform or not, and then based on that, if you have a high batting percentage, they will up your per lead. They'll pay you more.
The problem with Realty Shares, and I don't know if I'm speaking to your audience, but Realty Shares requires accredited investors. That changes the game quite a bit compared to Fundrise that doesn't require accredited investors. So
true.
So I don't know how much % of your audience you think is accredited investors.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, but
Fundrise is another one. Were they there? Because they have
I'm not sure.
They have the platform for non-accredited investors as well.
Oh, there's also Josh. There's also another good one. Shit. What is it called? I've got the business card somewhere. I've got a bunch to follow up with, but there's several companies that do this. But one of them that I talked to was they refinance student loan debt, so they take into like 3 to 4% interest rates. It's like a complete no-brainer. A lot of our audience would have huge student loan debts. And it's like there's no reason to not do this, like to refinance your student loan debt to a lower rate.
Is Robert? Did you meet Robert Farrington there?
Yeah, he was there. Yeah. He works closely with that company. I can't remember the name of it now, but there were a few of them. But there was one that stuck out in particular.
Did you also meet Brandon from Bigger Pockets?
No, I met the host of what is it called? Something Fi.
I'm going to register that. I'm registering that domain name right now.
Apparently not important enough.
It's a pretty big investing podcast, financial podcast. I can't remember the name now. I don't know. I met a lot of people. So.
Oh, see what Robert has done. I'm looking at his website right now. He has an email course on get out of student loan debt. And there's another one called Student Loan Freedom, and there's free investing 101 course. We've talked so many times, his email courses are the ones just like what your blogging course does. That's what they do for his student debt financing, refinancing, and his investment products that he sells.
The affiliate gauntlet.
Yep.
All right, should we do our thoughts?
Your thoughts. Yes.
Shit, today was long. Yeah. Okay, I'll start since you guys don't want to talk about it anymore. Yeah, I think going back to the purpose or the why of the mission is something that I think we intellectually understand, but it's an exercise that needs to be done more often than we think. In the sense, it's something you want to revisit. I want to revisit in my business now more frequently. Now that I just saw this, I'm like, yeah, I need to keep on reaffirming the purpose, the mission, not only for business, but also in your personal life. Like wherever you're going, you need to be clear on that. Because if you get off course, it can cause a lot of pain. And we start to look for like surface level problems, but a lot of the problems are because the why is not big enough or the why is not clear enough, which causes these problems. That's it. In case you guys are still looking at me thinking about this.
I'm just trying to think what.
I guess mine will be sometimes you eat the bear and sometimes the bear eats you.
What the fuck does that mean?
I'm feeling kind of mauled right now.
Yeah.
So you're saying you ate the bear and it feels kind of disgusting in the stomach?
No.
I guess mine would be that, stay the course, right? It's like you don't know, what is coming, but you make decisions to the best of your ability, and it doesn't always turn out right, but you keep on driving and you keep on going and you just push along, and eventually you break through. And you don't usually see the breakthrough coming, because I've had this happen in many areas of my life where it's I've hit the point of frustration and nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden it happens. I mean, especially I was just thinking about like with my running, with training for the marathon, there'll be days where it's just like I can't even believe, like there's no way that I'm going to be able to run the time that I have planned out to run, and then all of a sudden out of the blue, like I just have an enormous amount of energy and have a ridiculously good run, and I can't really predict it. All I know that is if I keep on training and I keep on doing what I'm supposed to do, that those days come, and my base level improves, right? Like it's like the lowest low is higher, becomes higher. I guess it's about that. It's like knowing that if you just keep on saying the course, what ends up happening is that you don't see it because it goes like this, but what was your lowest low becomes starts to rise over time, and you start to find higher highs.
Your highest highs from the past become your lows in the future.
Exactly. Yeah, they become your lowest lows in the future.
Yeah, it's like the Dow Jones.
Yep. Only if you get good trade deals, then.
No, well, the business is just like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, guys.
All righty.
Yeah.
See you later.
Later this week.
Hey, are you back in town?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm at my parents' house right now in Tampa, so I'll be back on Wednesday. I'll be back for Friday. Yep.
Cool.
All right.
All righty.
guys.
See ya.
Yeah. Bye.
Wanna start a business, but you just know how to code. Listen to John, Josh, and Derek as we figure it out. We are the Entre Programmers, and we'll teach you straight up to be developers.